When the IDF launched its latest Jenin operation in the early hours of Monday, it did so with the stated objective of reducing the threat of terrorism. The city has historically been a hotbed of Palestinian violence towards Israelis, and in recent months many terror attacks originated in the city's adjacent refugee camp. But while the military seized hordes of weaponry used by Palestinian armed groups, in the short term, the fighting in Jenin appears only to have spurred on violence elsewhere.
This place is not recognized with terror attack at all. This is the first time I grew up here. That's the situation in Israel, so, there is a panic, but...
7 people were wounded, 4 seriously, in a ramming and stabbing attack in Tel Aviv on the second day of the operation. One of the victims, a pregnant mother, lost her child. Gaza's ruling faction, Hamas, hailed the incident as an initial response to crimes against our people in the Jenin camp. It was the second and most serious Palestinian attack against Israelis conducted during the operation, following a stabbing in Bnei Brak. And on the southern front, 5 rockets were launched from Gaza overnight. While all of them were intercepted, falling shrapnel damaged 2 homes in Sderot, eliciting an Israeli response against Hamas. Speaking about the Tel Aviv attack, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said such violence would not deter the state.
Whoever thinks that an attack like this will deter us from continuing with our fight against terror is mistaken. He simply doesn't understand the spirit of the State of Israel, doesn't understand our government, our fighters, or our civilians.
But Palestinians seem equally as determined that Israel's operations in the West Bank will not suppress their aspirations. Alongside Israeli Sergeant First Class David Yehuda Yitzhak, 12 Palestinians were killed during the Jenin operation, all of whom were armed, the IDF says.
This is a cause that will never die, because we are rightful claimants. This camp was built as a refugee camp. After we had to flee Bizan, Zerain, Batir, Al-Mansi, Acre, and Jaffa, no right will be forgotten.
While each act of violence may only spur on the next, both Israelis and Palestinians generally support their side's actions against the other, as the consensus seems to be that it's a matter of when, and not if, the next West Bank operation kicks off. It may soon be déjà vu all over again.